Wow, that was very epic. Hello, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. Does the chat work? Does the chat work? Hello? Oh, yes, it does. I've changed a couple things around here. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Today, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going on with Aberration Part 2, the survival stories. And we'll be talking about how production, pre-production. I don't know what the terms are. I guess eventually I'll learn those, but basically what the production is looking like so far. So, and I'll also be showing you some teasers, some very cool little pictures that screenshots to give you an idea of what the environments and different things are looking like. That said, I won't be sharing. Let me make sure you guys can hear me. Okay, we're good. I won't be sharing some things because although they are done, like for example, Rockwell's transformed form, that's insane. That's done, but I can't show you guys because I really don't want to spoil that. I really want to save that for the reveal in part 2. And so that hopefully you guys are as shocked by that as you were by part 1 with the explosions and, you know, all the things that you thought were really cool about part 1. So yeah, let's get into it, y'all. How is everyone? Start from the top. Noah. Hi, Noah. Odin, Dark Nightmare, Kalima, Snip, Soup. Hello, Domzelski. Horroristic. Oh, you know what? I forgot to write down. Yes, the last thing I'll talk about is at the end. New series starting very soon, which I haven't done in a while since, I guess series. It's not the same type of thing, but the last time I started something new was, I guess, Monarchy. This isn't a Let's Play thing I'll be talking about, but it has to do with the story. I'll talk about that at the end. So, what's up, guys? Let me make things like these lights now. How do I RGB? Purple? What can we do? Oh. Sorry, I'm just learning about this now. Maybe I can make it like purple or something. That's blue. That's kind of purple. How do I make it? How do I make it more purple? Please do the thing. That's good enough, I guess. That's purple enough, right, guys? Hello, Burbed, Dark Nightmare, welcome. You can barely build a thatch hut correctly in Ark and you're making a movie. Huge props. Hey man, these things, they take time. I understand the thatch hut struggle. It is a difficult task, to be honest. I'm trying to turn that on. Oh no, what have I done? Stop. Okay. All right, I think we're ready. The Aberration news, y'all. So, let's talk about first. Let me close this really quick. First, we'll go over. I guess I could tighten this up a little bit. Still setting things up. Awesome. So, welcome. I feel like I should set the mood, the scene for this a little bit more and not use such scary music. So I'll go ahead and do that. By the way, credit for this music, for this composer, is amazing composer. Kevin is his name. I think his name's Kevin. He goes by Legion Varus on SoundCloud, and he did the music for something, basically a Portal 2 mod. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because we've taken a ton of inspiration for the music, but also for the just like general vibe for what I'll be showing you guys today, which is the heart of the station on Aberration. And this is a part of the map that, well, it's not a part of the map. That's sort of the point. In the story, this is a part of the Ark Aberration, part of the Aberration arc, basically, the station. It's so deep inside. I don't know. There's no way like this thing was that big because the arc was that big because this is just so vast. I mean, Aberration's already so deep. It's kind of insane, but it's really cool. So basically the heart of the station is described as being really this like very mysterious place, a lot like the Hall of History. And, like the place where you go right up to the Overseer, leading up to the Overseer. And so this is a couple of the screenshots from some of these rooms in the map. So just to be clear, this is essentially a map being built purely as a set for Aberration Part 2, the Survival Stories Part 2. And this set is going to be used for Helena, Megan, and Santiago to exist in and go through and discover why they're here. It's a really mysterious and unnerving and pivotal point in the story. At least for me. I mean, I think for anyone. There's also, well, this is a little bit of a hint as to what will be happening there. Obviously only a select few of you are seeing this, and most people don't watch these streams afterwards. So guys, you're getting some info beforehand, some screenshots that nobody's gonna see. Okay. But continuing on, this is another little room here, and this is where they essentially what they do is they hack into the obelisk. Santiago is at it again. They hack the obelisk to get them a teleport into the Ark, into the heart of the station, and it takes them here. And I mean, like I said, this is just really cool for me and for the team because up until now, this place is described in several of Helena's notes. They hang out down here for a while, but it's not in game. It's nowhere in game. So it's so cool to finally have it visualized because it's like just such a massive part of the story. They discover some really crazy stuff here, which I'm not going to spoil, but that'll be for the video. So yeah. But yeah, like I said, Kevin, Legion Varus, like Golden said, Kevin, Portal 2, Repercussions, composer. Okay. I'm crediting you, Kevin, if you're watching this. But yeah, that's the cave, y'all. Here's another screenshot. This very vast sort of chamber down here with these bridges. There's one way back there. And these are based off the Explorer notes in the game. So just for people who don't know much about the survival stories, just to clarify, these are essentially our videos are based off of the notes. They're not supposed to be fan fiction as much as to an extent they are, because we're obviously visualizing something that was just a concept in someone's mind that they wrote out and had some illustrations for. So there's lots of creative freedom being taken here. This is by no means an accurate representation of what the writer, Mark Soskin, and anyone who helped build the world in Ark thought. But it's as accurate as we can get given the descriptions that we have. So it's sort of a combination of an accurate retelling of the story and our own take, basically. And we use just all the Explorer notes and try and... That's what this survival story is about. Try and bring them to life, basically. So, that is just one little area that I wanted to share with you guys. There is so much more. I'd say, to give you an estimate, just because I like to be pretty transparent in progress and everything, if we consider pre-production or something like that to be, or sort of how I'm describing it, this like development stage, if we consider that pre-production, I would say we're about... Oh, hello, Stel. I was just showing off the heart of the station that's being developed. We've got some screenshots here. Just a couple. There's way more, but I didn't want to like go crazy with it. But what I was saying, we're about probably 60% done. I mean, really, we are. Like, with part 2, I think I can confidently say we're about 60% done or more. with just everything overall, because we have it all narrowed down to such a specific list, and some of the really incredible, some of the like insane artwork that's being done, or that's already finished actually, like I said, for Rockwell and for the creature that he transforms in his insanity, because if you've read the story, he injects a creature with element, and it's really messed up. So that has its own model and everything. If I don't want to spoil this stuff because it's so like amazing to me. Like I can't believe that we're working on this and that it's not like official. That's how it feels. It's the same kind of feeling I got when I was working on the first survival story. That was just so like, yeah. I mean, part one was also like, how are we making this? But part two feels like doubly like that, because I think it's so much more like, it's less about the cool actiony stuff and it's more about the story being really, really dope. And the characters and the ending is insane. I'm just like, I'm talking about this thing that doesn't even exist yet for you guys, but part two's ending is insane. And, I can't. We got all this stuff figured out, guys. Storyboards, tons of storyboards. The whole structure is laid out. So I'm just super confident about everything. We know exactly what we're doing. And it's taking, essentially my estimate of being able to get it out next month was as essentially the estimate that I expected, which is like that. You want it to be there, but most likely it's going to take like 30% longer or something like that. So just to let you all know, we'll be filming this weekend. That's when we're going to start filming a couple of these things, a couple notes. I think I wrote down maybe seven notes, something like that. So we'll knock out nearly a fifth of filming for the whole video. That doesn't give you any indication of time put into filming, because these are really simple notes that we'll be knocking out, smaller body actor count and all that. But yeah, so we'll be filming this weekend. Finally, the first shots that we're getting for part two are happening this weekend. So I'm really excited for that. And yeah. Oh, another thing that happens this weekend, assuming everything goes smoothly, which it should be, we're right on track. That is where I can talk about the 8 video series project that is happening. You'll see the first video Sunday. And to you, Stel, I'm sorry you're only learning about this now. Stel is working on the project with me, one of 3 people in total, aside from me. And I'm not gonna spoil what the project is, because I like to keep these things under wrap nowadays. We're bringing back. Sorry, I'm scatterbrained. We're bringing back May Konishi and Heather Foster. They already. Oh, it's so good. Their voiceovers in, and God, I can't. I wish I could show you guys, but I don't want to spoil anything. As you know, I've done that way too much in the past, and I have to have the restraint to just keep it under the hood until it's ready. Who is Elliot? That's our Elliot Crossley, is the guy who voices our fan-made, essentially Rockwell. But we did it. Let's see. How do I describe this? He was the first person to voice Rockwell in the fan-made ARC project. But in any ARC project in general. Rockwell had never been voiced up until then. Wait. No, that's wrong. No. David Tennant was first revealed, and then we picked Elliot Crossley based off David Tennant. So I'm technically wrong. They did it first, but we did like the cool stuff first. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, Sunday we're gonna be. You'll get a new video drop, and it's for a series you've never seen before. It's not completely wrong. Technically, you've seen it, but you've seen the format, but it's a series that you will not have seen in this in this planned out way. Essentially, we've got this. It's an 8-part series, more or less. And so I'll say no more. I'm gonna keep that hidden too. So just expect something Sunday, very soon here, just at the end of the week. But otherwise, I'll do a Q&A for a little bit, and spoilers, and I'll answer any questions you guys have that I can answer, if that helps. Will there need to be filming for the series? Not with body actors. No, probably not with any body actors. I mean, I'll definitely shoot stuff in single player for sure. And if I really needed to, I could shoot stuff with like my Steam Deck. Which creature did Rockwell inject again? It's not specified exactly, but we went based off of a specific one. But I don't want to spoil it. Sty and Fly, you're amazing, mate. Don't anyone tell you different. Thanks. Sty and Fly, you're amazing. How you're BS Woods 35. You're wondering how I got the voices of the actual character. Let me get back into the ARC music. Let's do that. Woo. Cool. Whoa. Page 5 Zonda. Thank you so much for the CA20. Is that Canadian? Yes, you can ask a question. Please do. Feel free. Hold on, I was answering BS Woods. You're wondering how I got the voices of the characters? Do you mean like... Yes, thank you, Zonda. Do you mean like the actual official characters or our fan-made ones? Because if you're asking about the fan-made dubbing and voiceover, I find those people on contracting sites for voice actors. Like, I used to use Fiverr, but Fiverr's really terrible. You can still find great people on there, but I would recommend voice.com or voices123, something like that. They're all it's hard to remember because when you have such a generic name for a website, it's like yeah, but that's where I found some of the most amazing people I've worked with. What has been so far been the hardest part about the entirety of the survival stories? Probably the explosion in part 1 of the Aberration survival stories. Above all else, Golden and I worked on that for many months, and it would have been a lot better to have a very good storyboard from the get-go that we stuck with, because it was changed a little bit halfway through. And so, these things have to be planned out super well, because they're, obviously each explosion is deliberate. Each explosion, the camera needs to be a certain place. So that was like the hardest thing, was like how many, it took probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 months or something. But when you're working on, when it's 2 people working on something that insane, and then we're also working on everything else at the same time. Yeah, that was probably the hardest thing by far. How's your day going? Good. It's good. Let's see. That's Canadian. You have a question? Can you throw on Maze TAST? Yeah. You need help, and where can we go to lend our help? Mark, at the moment, we're good. I think for body actors, we shouldn't need any more at the moment or in the foreseeable future. I think we should have it generally, but if you want to help, really just checking out the videos that I put on my channel here, the Netty the Noodle channel, that helps a lot, because it means I can keep doing this and keep making money from YouTube and having sustainable income. And sort of doing these other videos, trying different projects on the side to upload while I'm working on really large projects like this. So if you can just support those kinds of videos, that helps a lot. I also have a Patreon if you want to give me money. That's up to you. By all means, I accept donations, but don't feel obligated to or anything. That's just an option. Do you need? No, you're gonna do Extinction and Genesis. No. We were so I said this quite a few times, but I know these messages don't get out to everyone, and especially because there's new people that find the videos all the time. But we're not continuing with the survival stories after Aberration, and that's just because we want to be done from then on. We want to be done with the survival stories. We've been working on this for many years, so well, I say many. I guess two and a quarter. Two and a couple months, 2 years and a couple, that's 26, 27 months or something. Late Ace Lord, thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I appreciate that. Just do you. You as well. Just do you. But yeah, like I was saying, we're done with the survival stories after Aberration. But if it gives you any sort of indication of what that means for the channel, that series that I mentioned briefly, that Stell is a part of, will essentially be not the successor, but really the bridge after, since it's starting this Sunday, like I said, and it's going to be continuing on into the next few months and ending next year in the spring, the 8-part series. And so that's really going to act as my final goodbye to the Ark lore, to the Ark 1 lore, because it doesn't just leave stuff on Aberration. At least if you guys watch these videos that I'm going to be putting out in this 8-part series very soon, then you'll know the Ark story. You just won't have you won't have Extinction and Genesis 1, Genesis 2 in any kind of movie or cinematic format from me. Whether Wildcard or anyone else decides to do that, that's unknown. That could happen. But myself and my team is certainly not doing that. We're done with Aberration, and I hope that the series that you'll see soon is really enjoyable for you and educational, or insightful, I guess is the better word. You guys should watch Genesis lore videos Ned's put out. I do recommend the lore videos. Gotta be more subtle. Still. Gotta be more subtle, man. Come on. You're spoiling it. You're spoiling it. Guess who's back? Back again. Hello, Kevin. That looks like that, Kevin. Let me catch up on what I've missed. Where can we find the custom music used in the survival stories? I know Aether and Chaos has the main theme uploaded. So, Russian name that I don't understand. Is that a whale? I think that's a dolphin or something. But to answer your question, very soon after the survival stories is over with part 3, I'll release a video that has all the music we used, all the remixes and all that, and original stuff for the survival stories. So that should be on my channel. And it's going to be a mix of music from both from Aether and Chaos, if he gives me permission. I think he will, but I haven't gotten exact confirmation on that yet. And then also the new studio that we're working with that presumably should be able to pull this off. We're still in the works with them and ironing out some stuff, so I'll let you guys know how that goes. But I want to make sure that music gets out to you guys, because I know it's very cool. It's very Ark sounding, and to me it's like an extension of the soundtrack, and a tribute to Gareth Coker's style as an individual style that nobody else has, the Coker style. What are you planning to do with your mod when the story content is released? Is that my server would like to hear the official voice actors, but also the characters who were informed. So Soup, the plan is to make the Explorer Notes Plus mod really just an essentially a superior version of the Explorer Note system that'll be in the game in the PC update. And so I'll be replacing all the Rockwell and Helena voiceover that we put, that's obviously from Yanni and Elliot. I'll be replacing that with the David Tennant and Madeline Madden in the mod. And I'll keep the Megan and Diana voiceover in there. If we decide to, I could even finish it up and add in voiceover for like the rest of the characters, since there wouldn't be that many to go through. We're talking Santiago's notes. Some of those could be me. Some of those could be a voiceover Vin Diesel impressionist that I may be able to get in contact with. And then, of course, we could, finish up Diana's notes. We could do more Megan notes, put those in the Explore Notes Plus mod, just to give you guys more of like, as a send-off, right? Because since, like I said, we're done with Aberration. What about my boy Nerva? What about Nerva? That's what I would ask. But yeah, so we could really finish up the Explore Notes Plus mod if we wanted to, but otherwise we want to just have in the official voice actors. Since that, I don't, as much as, I don't think there are some scenes that our voice actors do that the official ones didn't do as well, or vice versa, but the mod is trying to not like steal the spotlight from those guys and gals, singular. Let's see what the head casually drops that he's working on the animated scene. When I see it, nearly through a dead shark. Zoology. Whoa. How did you hear the voiceover of the Explorer Notes if you got it before? I'm not sure what you mean, Odin. Can you elaborate? Hendog, will you put all the lore/survival stories together in one big video? Probably not. It's just not necessary. That's what the supercut videos are for. We have one for the island and Scorched Earth, and there will be one for Aberration right now. Or not right now. After the part 3 is released, I guess. So after part 2 and part 3. Love to hear Santiago voiced. Yeah, there's an impressionist somewhere online on like TikTok that I found that might be willing. He has like a whole booth and everything, so he might be willing to do it. Be a lot of notes and words, because Gen 2 Santiago has tons of notes. But oh, all the lights. Green. Oh my gosh. These lights are fascinating. I should probably just turn them back to white though. Alright, here we go. Wonder when the John gets justice? John, like John Dakea? Yeah, if you guys aren't aware, there's a mod for the PC on the Steam Workshop you can download called Explorer Notes Plus, which adds just about all of our voiceover into the actual game. The voiceover that we've had people record, paid voice actresses and actors for our fan-made versions of the retelling of the exact experience in the game. So you can find a link to that mod right over here if you're wanting to. Also, I'm working on adding a function with some of the co-authors to basically make it to where you can listen to notes after after you've closed the menu, just like the Switch version does, but actually make it not broken, because the Switch version has an issue where like if you'll like play the note, you'll close your inventory, and then if you like try and play another note, it'll loop on top of it, so it'll keep playing. Then you'll be listening to 2 notes playing at the same time. It doesn't have like a stop function. I wonder if within the messed up Explorer Notes filters in ARC could be fixed. Depends on what you mean. Depends on what you mean by fixed or messed up, I guess. I don't know what issues you're referring to exactly. Hi, Finley Scott. Hello. Dilo. Hey Ned, is the Notes dub mod get updated to override the official dub, or are you gonna let the original? We're gonna let the official ones. We'll use those audio bits instead, audio files. Once they're actually out. I'm waiting patiently for like what to do, since it's already on Switch, but it would be a little easier to record them and like get them all in the mod once it's on PC. So we'll see. Hopefully the update doesn't like break the mod horribly as soon as it comes out. But no way to know really. Hello, Empress of Death. Hello everyone. Hello Nettie. You're all having a good night/day. You too. Favorite Ascension cutscene, Jose? Probably, I mean, sort of storytelling wise, I don't know. It's hard to like. I mean, I could tell you with what's out right now, probably the Extinction one. Wait. I forgot about Genesis. I really like the Genesis 1 cutscene because it's very like, it makes you feel like you're playing Doom for like a split second, and then it's like, oh, never mind. Helena just said the F word. We're dying. Goodbye. And then that's it. So, but I like Doom, so I think the Gen 1 cutscene's cool. But that's, you know, I had trouble answering that because they're adding new cutscenes, right? With the epilogues and the prologues that we'll hopefully get all of in the PC version. Thanks for reading. Thank you, Kai, for asking. Zach, you're confused with something about Arc 2, so it's happening after Gen 2? Oh, the story? Yeah, it takes place way after Arc 1's story, yes. It's chronologically a sequel. It's not a prequel, it's a sequel to Arc Survival Evolved. Without revealing any spoilers, if possible, Aberration leaves off with a huge cliffhanger. Is your upcoming videos after Aberration going to a continuation or a separate project? It's neither, actually. Well, I mean, it's technically, it's a separate project, but it's, if you've ever seen the, like, how many times has Santiago respawned, just think of that, but, really cool, basically. I guess I can tell you guys very, very sort of vaguely or bluntly, it's a summary of the entire story of the game. So there you go. It's not a huge thing to reveal, but that's why it's eight parts, and so they're almost like chapters, just explaining the entire lore of the whole game up to Arc 2. That way nobody's confused as long as they read through or listen through and understand. So like I said, Sunday, get your popcorn, maybe. Yeah, I'm excited. Working with some very cool lore nerds that have been wanting to do this for a long time, but every time someone worked with them, it never came to fruition. For some reason, I don't know what's going on with like if Arc lore is cursed or something, but people have tried this before and nobody succeeded. Not to discredit anyone in particular or their attempts, but that's the idea. Yeah. So we will be the first ones. The first ones. No more than enough. Shh, don't spoil it. I'm ready for Sunday. Good. It's yeah. I'll shush. Also, if any of you are on, oh, you know what? I guess I should mention. So below, if you're looking for Arc servers to rent for PC, or I assume consoles, but I would just say at least PC for now, just so I don't get it wrong. If you're looking for Arc servers, you can check out my code below for Gportal, which is a server provider that I use that's really good, and that's the provider I use for my Arc Cluster Journeys core. So go check those out and use my affiliate code. It helps to support me if you end up renting your own server through them. And yeah, they're solid. They're really good. It's the best server provider I've ever worked with, or rented servers from, had servers from, that does game servers. Granted, I've only probably ever used like 4 or 5 in my whole life, but they're good. Let's see. Raz Clark Bob cameo? Bob cameo? Like Bob, but like the animated series? Do you plan on launching a mod for the mixed armors that you used in the Aberration story? That's out of my hands. I can't really tell you. That's really up to Golden. And yeah. Well, Zach, I think part of that is they wanted to go in a totally different direction with the story and just start over from scratch, you know? And that's kind of the gate. The colony ship's like a gateway. It's just like okay, let's just sail across half the universe at light speed until we find a new planet and then like hang out there and then Unreal Engine 5, baby! So that's Arc 2 in a nutshell. Are you gonna do any more stories after Aberration? It depends on what you mean by stories. I definitely know that for the rest of my life, if I don't end up being like a scientist or something, which is very unlikely because I have no background in science. But if I don't end up doing that and trying to like save the world as the boomers are dying off and I'm like 50 years old and the ice caps have melted. If I'm not trying to do that and it's not post-apocalyptic-esque, then I'll be telling stories and combining games and film for the rest of my life. So I'll be here, guys. I'm not going anywhere. That said, I don't, to what extent I'll be with Arc, the Arc franchise, and continue making videos for it and doing projects based very closely on that story or anything, that's completely unknown. Not completely. I mostly know that I'm getting away from that in this coming year, especially. So, Unreal Engine moment. Hello, Aberrant. How are you? But yeah, so that's my plans. I have quite a few plans, but my general plans for next year are just to somehow survive next semester because it's going to be one of the most difficult, but also one of the most exciting because I'm going to be challenged by 7 classes, one of which is at a totally different college, like 10 minutes away, 10 minutes before, and it ends 10 minutes before one of my other classes at my main college. So I'm going to be driving back and forth. It'll be insane. And then I also will have a job, it's part of a scholarship that is basically like doing videos for an esports team. So I'm going to have I don't know. I feel like I'm going to be so like busy with stuff that, I'll be having fun. That's how my brain works. I get really sad and like, I don't feel well when I'm not busy, I guess. Like I'm restless. I have ADHD, like I've said before. And so my specific strain of it, how it usually sometimes affects people is like they need stimulation, they need to work, they need to have lots of pressure and tasks ahead of them. And so that means that I'm very much looking forward to being extremely busy next semester. But anyway, what I was getting at is yeah, aside from all that stuff that I'll be super busy with, I'll be finishing up the survival stories with part 3, part 2 and 3, and then finishing up the series that, like I said, I've been talking about this whole stream, starting Sunday, and then after that, nothing is stopping me from world domination. You could be 80 years old and while the Earth is dying at an accelerated rate, you'll be pulling on your copy of Arc. God, I hope not. No, I'll be trying lots next year. So whether expanding out of my bubble ends up being a success is, we'll see. Mark, don't worry about us, man. We are so grateful what you've offered us. We're so happy you're doing great things. Thanks, Mark. Thanks so much. You guys are so awesome to talk to, and it's a dream to have a community like you to just like to just nerd out about Ark lore and talk about film and games and all the stuff. You are like the best sort of, I mean, obviously I'm biased, but you guys are like the most sort of awesome Ark community on YouTube that I've ever seen, because it's a very specific group, you guys. I think a lot of you, you guys can appreciate the time that goes into these, like almost like, films basically, and that's the kind of people that I want to talk to. So you guys are just awesome as well. You're like, compared to the rest of the Ark community, you guys are very chill, and compared to the PvP community, you know anything about them, I don't even have to continue. I think you know what I mean. You gotta go, chill, Phoenix. Keep doing what you do best. Keep it up. Later, Phoenix. Take care. Have a good one. But you guys are just awesome. So just, in my opinion, the best Ark YouTube community that there is. It's just so like specific. You guys are, what you want, you can appreciate things. It's not sort of like a whole mix of different people. You guys, I think, are a cool crew. Anyone else got Master from Fallout 1 vibes? Wait. Oh, you know what? I didn't, Zach, but I've actually played Fallout 1. I beat it, and so I know who you're talking about. It's kind of similar, but man, I was just too like amazed by the Rockwell Prime that I feel like I couldn't even like make the connection, or I just never thought about connecting that to the Master. Have you ever played Ark on a different console than you normally? The Switch, yeah. That's the only. I mean, I've played it on the PS4 like once because I bought it for my nephews like a year or two ago, but I played it for like 5 seconds on there. I've mostly, the only console I've played Ark on is the Switch, really, for any extended amount of time. Favorite story map and why? Really Aberration. I mean, I've become an Aberration fanboy just like everyone else, because I mean, there's many reasons, and I think everyone gets those reasons. And Wildcard's like looking at it like, okay, we need to do that again. Do it again. Because Aberration essentially takes the established Ark formula, and then it pits you into an environment where it's almost horror-esque. Like, it's kind of scary. It takes away some of your abilities, and what that does is it creates a little bit of fear, kind of like how Subnautica does. And it essentially just creates this unknown and creates challenges that you have to adapt to. Aberration's laggy as hell, and so that's kind of annoying because even if you have like an RTX 4090, you still can't run on that goddamn map. But it's still very really my favorite because it essentially the conceptualizing what it means, right? Like what it all brings to the table, as opposed to just like, oh, cool, it looks like this and funny creature, it's just like, no, Aberration, the reason why everyone loves Aberration so much is because it has this perfect blend of danger, unknown, and the ability to conquer those things with discovery and exploration. And that's something the other maps lacked because they were very open, they weren't very imposing, and they had niches that didn't apply to Aberration, basically, and vice versa. Not to say other maps aren't scary or anything, but thanks, man. We love Ark like you do. Thumbs up. Dilo, heart. Definitely HE, man. I was just rewatching the first one to get it caught up, and then this happens. Hello, welcome. Hendog. You think Wildcard will just stop Ark 1 servers when Ark 2 is out? I'd imagine they'll stop them after a certain amount of time. It'll be kind of like how legacy servers were shut down, or like some of them were shut down. In case you're not aware, legacy servers were created when Wildcard essentially Ark entered early access, meaning it was in a playable state in 2015, June 2nd. And from then on, they created the official servers. August 29th or something of 2017, about 2 and some years later, they officially released the game on Steam, so it wasn't in early access anymore, even though that didn't really mean anything for many reasons. But what that did is the official servers became all the ones that had existed up until they released it, and they got the golden seal of approval or whatever. Those became legacy servers, and people were like, oh, okay, we'll keep playing on our legacy servers. And then they also launched a bunch of new servers for the official launch of the game. And the legacy servers were eventually killed off, most of them. I think some of them are still around that are active. So maybe they'll do the same thing with Ark 2. You don't really know. If you had to choose one non-canon map to be made canon, which would it be? Probably the Lost Island, I think. The other maps are a little bit too, yeah, I think all the other maps are a little bit too fantasy. The center, I mean, Valguero is nice. Valguero's nice, but I think the Lost Island pulled off the ruins and stuff a little bit better. Valguero felt a little bit like you could really tell that it wasn't made by Wildcard. And I think that's part due to the fact that Lost Island was made partly by Wildcard. It felt a little bit more polished and more likely of an arc as opposed to any of the fantasy arcs, so like the Center, Ragnarok, any of the others, and then Valguero. We've obviously got Fjordur, Crystal Isles. Just so many of them are so mystical and fantasy that I don't think, as much as Ark has fantasy elements, I like Lost Island, even though it's a little cliche because the island is the base game map. But Lost Island was very, very beautiful and expansive and didn't feel too overwhelming to me. I don't know. I really like the jungles. They were cool. Stella, what do you think about the emotional humanization of Edmund toward the end of Ark's life, especially in the new voice notes on Switch? Rockwell's descent was far more emotional on his side. I think David Tennant. Obviously, he's David Tennant. He's a great, amazing actor. And I think with how he voiced the notes in Aberration, I'm actually not that impressed. Not because I'm, spiteful or anything or salty that they were able to get those in the game or to the public before us, but because comparing it to what I'm working with almost every day and listening to over and over again from Elliot Crossley, Elliot has a lot more consistent energy, and the flow is way more apparent, and it's way more feasible, or I feel like it's a lot more natural. You can actually imagine this guy being Rockwell, or what I'm trying to say is the David Tennant notes they change the tone all the time. So on Aberration, so I listen to almost all of them, loads of them, and I noticed that they just kind of go all over the place. Sometimes he's sad, then he's but it's not even really sad, because I think that could have made it they could have worked with that. Oh, okay, he's having massive mood swings, so they could have maybe made it to where it was extremely sad, extremely angry, this and that, but it was just kind of he didn't seem very enthusiastic at all, or even natural for the character. He's done a much better job, for example in Rockwell Prime, and all the Genesis 2 voiceover that Tennant did was great. It was really good. I liked all that. But the Aberration specifically, I'm not a fan of how it was. It doesn't make any sense to me how emotional he was in that last Rockwell note, particularly because when you look at the context for the note readings and everything in there, including what is actually the hidden text in the final Rockwell note, which they redid, it doesn't at all make it seem like he was I'm sorry. I mean, maybe a part of him, but I don't think it was represented correctly in my view. Yeah, he doesn't nail the anger, the madness. That's sort of my thought. Do you think that since the characters are clones, could the main characters come back to Arc 2? Yeah, I've theorized about that a lot, definitely. Velcro is cool, but it has the portal, Aberration portal for some reason. Yeah. Yeah, I never thought about why that, well, yeah, does it have the portal or just like one of the things? Especially with what you see of him in Doctor Who. Yeah, I think David Tennant was right for the choice of Rockwell, or for the, for the character, but he just did not have good enough direction for voicing the Aberration notes. And as much as our voice actor is younger and not David Tennant by any means, he, I think, does the character justice way more. And you guys will be the judge of that when you actually hear him. As soon as the voiceover was released with David Tennant and Madeline Madden on the Switch, I kind of was like freaking out because I was like, oh my God, well, this is like the official stuff, so we need to use this. So I guess I'm just going to replace all of ours. But then I was like, well, no, people in the GoFundMe, like literally a year ago, paid for the voiceover that we need to be using from Yanni Harris and Elliot Crossley. And beyond that, they ended up having more consistent characters overall compared to David Tennant and somewhat compared to Madeline Madden, though I think Maddie Madden did a better job at David Tennant than David Tennant at being consistent and having a more consistent tone throughout. She definitely brings a sort of a vibe to Helena that's very like sort of just thoughtful and not very like dramatic, and I do like that. It's almost like an older Helena compared to Yanni Harris's voicing. But at the end of the day, we need to stick with our project and stick with using the voiceover that we set out to use. As much as at first I was like, oh my gosh, like dude, we gotta use this freaking David Tennant. Why would we not use him? But I have a very clear goal in mind now, with what I'm doing with the survival stories compared to a mod like Explorer Notes Plus or the summary series or, that. So I need water, but Diane and May are your favorite characters. Mark, oh boy, they are not done in part 2. You will be seeing them in part 2, and I brought back the voice actresses for quite a bit of dialogue. So that's what I'm very excited about, because if you've read the story, you probably know what I'm talking about, and it's going to be. I don't want to say anything. Stell, Diana and May are coming back for Arc 2. Just you wait. Maybe. I hope. I do love those characters. I just don't want them to butcher them. Overseer may be difficult at first. You can bring something faster than it, and it goes down stupid quick. I never thought about outspeeding the Overseer. Yes. Oh man, I can't even begin to describe Mark. Guys, I know when part 3 is coming out. Aquatic. Riley, you're not supposed to tell them. Dude, don't tell them, bro. Don't do it. Guys, Aquatic in the chat, that's the guy that hung out with me for like 6 hours for the extra live stream. So if you watch that, you probably remember him. Say hi to Riley. Aquatic. Don't spoil it, bro. Megan Nerva look and sound far older in the animated series, whereas Rockwell's seemingly younger. I've seen art of them being younger, so how long have they really been stranded on the island? That's a good question. It's a very good question. How long do you think you will continue running Journey's Core? Sorry, I was just thinking about a scenario. That wasn't the question. Journey's Core, a good while. I mean, I think I set out to run it until Arc 2 comes out, but it's not like I'm just going to shut down the servers as soon as Arc 2's out. That would be kind of insane. All right, guys. Arc 2's launched. Later, Journey's Core. No, we'll see. Like, it's going to depend on how Arc 2 plays out and like whether it's actually good. And then maybe I'll let someone else manage the service. I'm not sure. But generally, I'm not going to make any decision that's going to, hurt anyone or erase any progress or anything like that. What did I miss? Did your walls change color or am I tripping? No, they didn't. I just got these two. I got a new ring light. It's the same, basically the same thing. They just, both of them can change colors now, so that's cool. What I was thinking about is what if in the animated series, Megan and Nervet kill each other and then they get reborn, but not by Helena, and they totally retcon how that works, and they just decide that respawning is like works totally differently. That's definitely not gonna happen, but I don't know, you made me think about that. It can change wall color at will. Yeah, of course. How does it feel knowing you did Arc's cutscenes with your visualization of Aberration? Well, it makes perfect sense. Well, that's not describing how it feels. Feels fine. I don't think about it that much. I just know that obviously we had a lot more, like, we spent a lot more time with the goal of doing that, so it would make sense that our like visualization of it was a lot more good, like 12 minutes of it basically, as opposed to like the 10 seconds of some illustration in After Effects. But yeah, so I mean, I'm happy that we made that because it was cool after we made it. Yes, yeah. If JC does get shut down, I vote that PvP is re-enabled and the last day is complete war. Could do that, yeah. I saw for a second, I didn't. You're gonna be around during final. Also do the course eval when you get a chance. Oh, I think I did do the course eval. But I could, yeah, I definitely. If you're talking about cultural events, please do invite me because I'd like to hang out on campus more. In general, I mean, a lot of my classes are finishing up, but I've got that time to hang out, dude. Definitely. I like going to cultural events. Sorry, guys, it's unrelated to any of this. Hello, Canadian mates. Vlogs? Tibial dolphin? What do you think of how little the ocean was used in Ark? Man, it's Willcraft. That's such a good question. I always, since like probably 3 years ago, I always wanted them to make an ocean map that had such different mechanics and like limitations, but also like new things to explore and like get good at, challenges to overcome and stuff that they just never did. That would have been very cool. Like an ocean map where essentially you have to technologically evolve. Like maybe you wake up in really shallow, like imagine an Ark where you wake up in a shallow place, right? You wake up, it's just ocean around you, but you're able to stand. You're like a couple feet under, right? So it's like up to your waist or something. And then you pick up rocks, you pick up some resources in the shallows, and then eventually you can build some flippers and things to get better and to finally go into the water and explore new biomes and stuff. Ned is the Germa of the Ark community, and nobody realizes it because Ned isn't real. You weren't supposed to tell them that. You have a ton of downtime next week between finals, which is why I asked, but I did see new cultural event. Okay, yeah, just let me know when and where, bro. When and where. He has never existed. Blockbeam, it's good. How are you? Yeah, day's been good. These past 2 days, exquisite days, high quality days. I found that it's good to take time out. I've been watching this show called Mr. Robot, which was kind of like bad at first. It's on Amazon Prime, I think. It was kind of bad at first, and I was like, you know what? I want to finish it just so I can like maybe learn some filmmaking things and figure out like what they're doing. And now that I'm like 5 episodes in, it's actually starting to get kind of good. So I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's actually getting good or if I'm just getting used to how bad it is. But it has Rami Malek in it, and he's cool. I think he looks cool, so I like him as an actor. It's kind of edgy because it's like it uses like internet slang. It's kind of cringy, but Mr. Robot on Amazon. Yeah. Did you have a response on Raz Clark to him responding to your no Arc 2 talk video? You both had pretty good points. No, I mean I was thinking it'd be funny if I responded to him in a video just to continue the string, but as much as it's tempting, I would rather focus on some more important projects right now. No, yeah, I agree with him that like he has a good argument. I think my video sort of now at this point, I've changed my mind on some things with the video. I don't think we should stop talking about Arc 2 by any means, but the clickbait was just kind of annoying me. But it's not so much the concept of clickbait as it is the concept of media manipulation, which is basically when, and this is really a phenomena, you might call it, that started since the birth of like blogs and stuff on the internet and news that's like essentially like pseudo journalism, like anyone can be a journalist, and the idea of just like bringing things out that lack substance, I guess, whether that's in a blog or on a YouTube video or something like that. Raz is not guilty of this by any means, I think, like to any extent that I'm talking about media manipulation. This is really for people that sort of like I mentioned, well, like I subtly mentioned in the video by showing some of their thumbnails and stuff, making videos of no substance that are just, let me make $100 by summarizing Arc 2 for the 3rd time. That is what was just like, I was particularly annoyed that morning, so I just made that video. And yeah, I think really that was my only argument, which isn't consistent with like Arc 2 is getting old. Like that wasn't necessarily the point, sort of looking back at it. So yeah, Raz was, I liked that Raz was saying like, if we don't talk about it, it doesn't exist. And it's important to talk about it because the developers use what we're saying to gauge what's going on. And that was a really good point because I didn't even really think about that in like an actual like strategic sense, but I'm sure they do. Hell, I'm sure Wildcard has seen my videos to some extent, just based on the fact that like I know if I was a like studio Wildcard, if I was a game dev and I wanted to learn about my community, it wouldn't be hard to find Netty the Noodles videos and like the Arc Lore videos, right? You search Arc Helena or Arc Megan or anything, you find my videos. So strategically, I think Raz is definitely right. Wellcraft, do you have any tips for doing the Tech Cave solo? I did it with a small group. We went with tech armor and like Archaeopteryx. You could use like gliders and stuff. You basically like glide past all the dangerous stuff and then, ascend up to the teleport up to the overseer place, and then you just go and shoot it with lots of tech rifles and tech armor and bring lots of med brews and fur and all that. I just flew above the overseer and shot it to death. No dinos needed aside from the Archaeopteryx to actually glide over the tech cave stuff safely. Do you think it's possible that modding will come to PS5? In what, Arc 1 or Arc 2? Definitely not Arc 2. I mean, that ship has sailed many years ago. The possibility of that ship, I guess. Hey Primo, you're doing hardest challenge in Arc. Going through all maps without dying. Good luck. Good luck. That's what I will say. What real world dinosaur / prehistoric creature do you think that should be an Arc that is not an Arc right now? Neanderthals. Wait, do they count? I guess we already have those. Never mind. I don't know. I'm pretty happy with with all the creatures in the game. I feel like it's almost like there's too many. Like I don't really want any more personally. but I'm excited for Arc 2, you know, for what'll be in that game. The Sunken World is a great modded map to try out. Fortunately, it's not fully complete. Gotcha, Grievous. Yeah, I think I've probably heard of that. What's been your favorite custom arc track? Custom arc? Like remixes that we've been part of? Probably Diana Altaris. This one. I like this one. What creature custom? In your current arc run, you've been trying to fight each boss. Trying to fight each boss on fight whilst your tribe is on dinos. Oh, on foot. Okay. Super fun though on Gen 1 right now. I can't wait for that fight again. You play as the yes, you do play as Neanderthals. Alright gamers, well thanks everyone for coming to the stream. I'm gonna end it a little abruptly, but it was a lot of fun talking to you all tonight, and hope I've communicated fairly well where we're at with the project and what's in store. Stay tuned for Sunday, and I'll talk to you all next time. Bye guys.